Every once in a while, a film comes along that reminds us why stories matter. Not because it relies on massive action sequences, unbelievable visual effects, or shocking plot twists, but because it speaks directly to the heart. Wonder is one of those rare films. At first glance, it may seem like a simple family drama centered around a young boy starting school for the first time. But beneath that straightforward premise lies a deeply moving exploration of kindness, courage, acceptance, empathy, and the invisible struggles that every person carries with them. It is the kind of movie that quietly changes the way you look at people around you, encouraging you to pause before making judgments and to remember that everyone is fighting battles we know nothing about. The story follows a young boy named Augie, a child born with a rare facial difference that has required numerous surgeries throughout his life. Because of his medical condition, he has spent most of his childhood learning from home under the guidance of his loving mother. As he reaches the age where attending middle school becomes an important step toward independence, both he and his family face a decision that could change everything. The idea of entering a school filled with strangers is exciting but terrifying. Augie understands that people notice his appearance before they notice his personality, and that reality has shaped almost every experience of his young life. What makes the film remarkable is that it never asks the audience to pity its main character. Instead, it invites us to admire his resilience. Augie is intelligent, funny, imaginative, and passionate about science and space. Like any other child, he dreams of making friends, laughing in class, and feeling like he belongs. The difference is that he has to overcome obstacles most people never even consider. Every hallway, every classroom, and every new conversation becomes an act of courage. The film gently reminds us that first impressions often define how people treat one another. Human beings naturally notice what is different before recognizing what is familiar, and wonder challenges that instinct. Rather than presenting its message in a preachy way, it allows viewers to witness how small acts of kindness, or moments of cruelty, can shape another person's entire day. A smile, an invitation to sit together at lunch, or simply choosing not to stare can carry enormous meaning for someone who feels isolated. One of the movie's greatest strengths is that it refuses to tell only one person's story. While Augie remains at the emotional center, the narrative also explores how his condition affects those closest to him. His parents constantly balance protecting their son with preparing him for the realities of the world. Their love is unconditional, yet they struggle with fear, wondering whether they have made the right decisions throughout his upbringing. Parenting is portrayed with honesty, showing that even the most devoted mothers and fathers cannot shield their children from every hardship. The relationship between Augie and his older sister is equally compelling. Siblings often experience emotions that are difficult to express, and the film acknowledges that love can exist alongside frustration, loneliness, and sacrifice. She deeply cares for her brother, yet there are moments when she quietly wonders where her own place fits within the family. These emotions never make her selfish, instead, they make her feel real. The film recognizes that every family member carries unseen burdens, even when one person's challenges naturally demand more attention. Friendship becomes another powerful theme. Throughout the story, we see how genuine friendships are built not on appearances but on shared experiences, honesty, and trust. The film doesn't pretend that acceptance happens instantly. Instead, relationships develop gradually as people learn more about one another beyond superficial judgments. This gradual evolution feels authentic because real friendships rarely emerge overnight. They grow through conversations, misunderstandings, forgiveness, and mutual respect. The performances elevate every emotional moment. Jacob Tremblay delivers an extraordinary performance as Augie, conveying vulnerability, intelligence, humor, and determination beneath layers of prosthetic makeup. His performance never feels forced or artificial. Instead, He captures the emotional complexity of a child trying to navigate a world that constantly reminds him he looks different. It is a performance built on subtle expressions, quiet moments, and genuine sincerity. Julia Roberts brings warmth and compassion to the role of Augie's mother. Her portrayal reflects the endless emotional balancing act of parenthood, the desire to protect while encouraging independence. Owen Wilson complements her beautifully, portraying a father who uses humor and optimism to help his son find confidence during uncertain moments. Together, they create a believable family dynamic filled with affection, imperfections, and unwavering support. The supporting cast contributes significantly to the emotional richness of the film. Each character represents a different perspective on empathy, insecurity, acceptance, and personal growth. Rather than presenting individuals as simply good or bad, the story acknowledges that people make mistakes, learn from them, and sometimes discover compassion through experience. This complexity makes the emotional journey feel more rewarding because growth becomes possible for nearly everyone. Another reason Wonder resonates so strongly is its realistic portrayal of school life. Schools are places where children develop not only academically but socially and emotionally. They can become environments of encouragement or places where insecurity and exclusion flourish. The film honestly depicts the challenges young people face while also highlighting the educators and classmates who choose kindness over cruelty. It reminds viewers that creating a welcoming environment depends on countless everyday decisions made by ordinary people. Visually, the film embraces simplicity. Rather than relying on elaborate cinematography or flashy editing, director Stephen Chbosky focuses on intimate moments and authentic performances. The camera frequently lingers on facial expressions, allowing emotions to speak louder than dialogue. This restrained approach serves the story perfectly because the emotional impact comes from genuine human connection rather than spectacle. The musical score quietly supports the emotional rhythm of the film without overwhelming it. During moments of happiness, uncertainty, sadness, and hope, the music enhances the atmosphere while allowing the performances to remain the primary focus. The soundtrack contributes to the comforting tone that defines much of the viewing experience. Perhaps the film's most important message is its belief in kindness. Kindness is presented not as weakness but as courage. It requires choosing empathy when judgment would be easier, offering inclusion when exclusion feels more convenient, and recognizing another person's humanity before focusing on outward differences. This philosophy extends beyond the characters and becomes an invitation to the audience. Long after the credits roll, viewers may find themselves paying closer attention to how they treat strangers, classmates, coworkers, or neighbors. The emotional impact of Wonder comes from its honesty. Life is not portrayed as perfect after one inspirational speech or one meaningful friendship. Challenges continue to exist, but hope grows stronger through perseverance and community. That balance prevents the story from feeling unrealistic or overly sentimental. Instead, it celebrates progress while acknowledging that personal growth is an ongoing journey. What also makes the movie memorable is its universal relevance. Although Augie's experience is unique, the emotions explored throughout the film are familiar to nearly everyone. Most people know what it feels like to fear rejection, to seek acceptance, to doubt themselves, or to hope someone will see beyond first impressions. By connecting those universal emotions with one extraordinary child's experience, the film creates empathy rather than distance. For families, Wonder offers meaningful conversations about bullying, compassion, confidence, and respect. For younger viewers, it provides valuable lessons without sounding like a lecture. For adults, it serves as a reminder that the smallest gestures often leave the greatest impact. It encourages reflection on how our words and actions influence others every single day. No film is without flaws. Some viewers may feel that certain emotional moments are designed to maximize tears, and a few supporting storylines could have benefited from additional depth. Others might wish the film explored some of its more difficult themes with greater complexity. However, these minor criticisms do little to diminish its overall effectiveness because the sincerity of its message remains genuine from beginning to end. Ultimately, Wonder succeeds because it understands that true strength is rarely loud. Courage often appears in quiet moments, in showing up despite fear, choosing kindness despite disappointment, and believing in yourself despite the opinions of others. Rather than celebrating perfection, the film celebrates humanity in all its imperfect beauty. By the time the story reaches its conclusion, the greatest transformation is not limited to the characters on screen. The audience is invited to see the world through a more compassionate lens, recognizing that every face tells a story and every person deserves dignity, understanding, and respect. Few family dramas manage to leave such a lasting emotional impression while remaining accessible to viewers of all ages. Wonder achieves that balance with grace, warmth, and sincerity, making it a film that continues to inspire long after the final scene. In the end, Wonder is far more than a movie about one extraordinary child. It is a celebration of empathy, resilience, family, friendship, and the simple but powerful idea that kindness has the ability to change lives. Whether you watch it for its heartfelt performances, its uplifting message, or its emotional storytelling, it leaves behind a reminder that feels just as relevant today as when the film was first released. Whenever you have the choice between being right and being kind, choose kindness.